Morning. I'd like to thank everybody for coming here this morning on this important announcement. As we had our last announcement over the summer, back in August, we were on site at a property 38 Elm Street. That was a tax possession property that we received through the foreclosure process. We are pleased to report back to the town that the property has been sold. It closed today, and it sold for $151,000. So it is our understanding that the individuals that bought it are a young couple that are looking to move into town and fix up the home and live there and make it their home. So we're pleased to hear that that story has come to a very positive ending for that neighborhood, and that we are going to see that house obviously be restored and also put back, more importantly, on the tax rolls. So that is a great accomplishment in a short period of time that we can point to as a win for the neighborhood and for the town. And I'd like to commend and thank all of the departments that were responsible for that, treasurer, collector, sewer, DPW, Board of Health, all of the departments that were involved in some capacity or another, handling that property and getting it to a positive outcome for the town. Today, we're announcing another positive announcement that we're going to be sending out to the residents for the town. I'm joined here today by our treasurer, Don Swistak, our collector, Carrie Schmidt, and a member of the Board of Selectmen, David Dufresne, for an important announcement that we will be holding an auction, a tax title auction, on a Tuesday, November 18th at 2 p.m. right here at 48 High Street at the Shepherd Municipal Building. We're going to have 14 properties on the auction block, slated for the auction block for that particular sale. The Board of Selectmen next week at their meeting will be approving the final list of those properties. We're anticipating them to be up to 14 properties. And they will also be appointing at their meeting a tax title custodian. These properties have been sitting dormant for some over 11 years. And in today's climate, in today's market, it would be a travesty for the town to let them sit there any longer, given the fact that the market is still reasonably beneficial to sellers. It is a seller's market still, and we want to capture as much equity and as much return on these properties as possible. We need to make the town whole, and these properties we're hoping can bring significant monies to the town's treasury. These properties are a mixture of some houses and structures, as well as some buildable lots, and maybe some abutter lots that if you're living in the neighborhood and you want to protect your home or you want some more land, maybe you would be interested in one of these abutter lots. So there's a nice eclectic mix of properties here that we feel will have value and will bring monies to the town's treasury. We have retained the auctioneers of Sullivan & Sullivan, who are an experienced auctioneer house in Massachusetts and in New England. They have a vast knowledge of municipal auctions. They have done several auctions throughout the area, and we hope that the relationship between them and the town will be beneficial to both during this sale. We will have, the auctioneer has already put up signs on the properties. We will be posting our own large banner signs around town, signaling the auction. We will also be posting them in our Ware River News, in the Worcester Telegram Gazette, in the Republican, as well as mailings will be going out by Sullivan and Sullivan, as well as their strategic marketing through emails and their website. So it is a full coordinated effort between the town and to try to recover as much funds as possible so that we can be made whole on these properties, and that these properties can be put back onto the tax rolls, just like we did with 38 Elm. In these very challenging and tough financial times that a lot of municipalities are going through, these are the types of steps that need to be taken to think outside of the box and to move on these properties so that we can retain some additional revenue for the town. We cannot continue just to tax our way out of problems. We have to look at some of the resources that we have internally and use business-like strategies to run the town. And so this is a full cooperation effort between the Board of Selectmen, myself, the finance team, to try to target these types of potential revenues, streams of revenues, so that we can continue to grow the town, and then we can continue to address the capital needs and capital expenses that are needed in this town and that haven't been addressed in several years. So I would like to offer it up to the treasurer, or the collector, the member of the Board of Selectmen, David, if they would like to say a few words.
You know, some of these properties, it's going to be nice to have new owners for and to have them rehabilitated. I know it's a tough housing market for people to find affordable housing, and this might be an avenue, a few of these properties anyway, for people to get into houses at a reasonably affordable rate and rehab them and be a benefit to their neighborhoods, and also be added back to the tax rolls. It's good to see a lot of these properties. Some of them are lovely lots, and it'll be nice to have you know, them in the possession of people who again will pay taxes on them. Yeah, I think it's a really good thing, and it's good to reduce our stock of property, because we're not landowners, the town. We want parks and stuff and schools, but we don't want lots just here and there, not benefiting anyone.
So I want to thank everybody for coming today. I also want to thank our finance team and Mr. Ferrara for doing an outstanding job with coming up with this list and being able to make this auction happen. This is long overdue. It's something that we have to do to get some of these properties off our books. Just like the others said, we're not in the landowning business. We need to make sure these properties get out to property owners that are going to maintain them and be an outstanding member of our community. That's very important in making sure that these properties are cleaned up and maintained well, and taxes are finally being paid on them. So we're not paying for the properties, but we're getting paid by the properties. So thank you very much for everybody doing an outstanding job. Appreciate everything you've done, and keep up the good work in the town. Thank you. Mr. Ferrara.
Thank you, everybody. And I just want to emphasize, if you look at this list, some of these properties are located on our main street, and they're dilapidated. And when you want people to invest in your community, and they're driving down Main Street and they see a boarded-up house, what does that say about your community? No more. We're going to try to get these back on the rolls. We're going to try to get them back into the hands of individuals that can rehab them and make something out of them. So, you know, we're going to continue to work through our departments and work together as a team to make this happen. And secondly, and lastly, we are also working with our Board of Health on matters of problem properties. And the selectmen have given the okay to address problem properties through the use of legal counsel to get properties cleaned up. And a lot of these properties are owned by absentee landlords. And unfortunately, they choose not to maintain their property. And that shouldn't have to be the case. And nobody should have to live next to a landlord or property owner that does not maintain their property. And so we're going to try our best to make it a coordinated effort and to swiftly move on these initiatives so that everybody in Warren can enjoy the quality of life they rightly deserve. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
One question about the sale of 38 Elm Street. Is there any, I don't know, profit, I guess, that comes back to the town, right?
Yes.
There's money that has to sit in an account for potential heirs of the previous
Right.
last owners?
So there's approximately, we have about approximately between the back taxes and costs that we've incurred while carrying costs of the property and expenses to insure the property. You know, there's about $80,000 or so around that number that we will be getting back through back taxes, through liens that are on the property, and to recover those funds. Dawn, I don't know, is that about accurate?
We still need to go through all
Yeah.
the final expenses, but that's a good estimate between 80 and 90, I would
Yeah.
say.
And so that will be taken off the top of the proceeds of the sale immediately. And we're happy that we were able to, you know, get all our costs and our expenses back. Sometimes on some of these things, you know, it's a real gamble. You know, you're not always going to be made whole on it, but you have to look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture sometimes is getting the property back on the rolls, getting something for the property, as opposed to sitting on the property. So those are tough decisions to make, and I'm sure with the conversations that we'll have with the selectmen and whoever they appoint as tax title custodian, you know, that will be an issue. So.
And with the upcoming auction, is there a certain amount of money people have to put down first before they can participate?
So the basic terms is that they have to bring a $5,000 deposit bank check made out to the town of Warren. There will be no personal checks accepted, and there will be a 5% buyer's premium, and balance is due in 30 days. All properties will be sold as is. And, you know, some of these we went through with our building department, are listed as, you know, potentially buildable lots. You know, we're highly recommending that any potential owners, you have now until November 18th to do your due diligence and to verify on your own, because everything will be sold as is.
That's all I have.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much.